Who came up with the idea to bring Downey Jr. again as that guy?
That was Kevin.
What?
We know there's a lot riding on for people, for us, for everybody, moviegoers. What can this mean? What can this be?
Can it have the same level of energy around it? Can it pull people back into the theaters in the same way?
Doubt. Be skeptical. Hard to believe. What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. All right, everybody, check it out. Look, Snow White ain't the only problem that the Walt Disney Company is having when it comes to its movie output. They also got the Marvel Cinematic Universe that's struggling mightily right now. You guys already know the situation with Captain America: Brave New World, all right? A gigantic flop, only $391 million worldwide for the box office, not reaching their fake total of $425 million to break even, whatever they were talking about, because they claimed they had a budget of $180 million, which was just utter horseshit. All right. A movie that's been reshot 3 times, casting new characters and everything, does not have a $180 million budget. Get the fuck out of here with that. All right. But yeah, this ain't the only issue right now. Of course, Captain America is in the books, and a lot of people are looking forward to this Avengers Doomsday. They're saying maybe that's where Marvel gets things back on track. Now, I played that little clip at the beginning. Says the Russo brothers says it was Kevin Feige's idea to bring Robert Downey Jr. back as Dr. Doom. Kevin Feige. So we're taking creative cues from Kevin Feige on who we should have and who we should not have playing certain characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Again, Kevin Feige has been like basically playing with house money, you know, because he was the first in, the best dressed when it came to putting together a cinematic universe. And so everybody gives Kevin Feige all of this love and credit and not the actual creatives that held this thing together. A lot of people think that the Russo brothers can maybe bring things back from the brink, all right? The Russo brothers are talking like this, right? This is something they said on that same interview. They teased how Robert Downey Jr.'s Dr. Doom will be presented in the Avengers films. They said, we love villains who think they are the heroes of their own stories. Wow, what an epiphany. Like, that's every villain, man. Every well-written villain, I should say. Every well-written villain thinks they are doing the right thing. They don't think they're evil, all right? They think they're doing the right thing. They think, hey, you know what? I understand that everybody looks at this differently, but, you know, in my own little warped mind, they think they're the hero. Thanos, for instance, thought he was the good guy. He thought he was doing the right thing. Yeah, obviously, you know, a lot of people, half the universe said you're not doing the right thing, but nevertheless, yeah, he thought he was the hero of the story. And that's exactly how they played it out. It's common practice for writers to make sure that the villains have a very believable storyline and arc that they look upon themselves as the hero of that story. You know, what person doesn't think they're the hero of a story? Again, this kind of stuff makes me nervous, man. When I hear them talking so casually and glibly about how to write a villain, it's like, all right, man, maybe these guys don't know what the hell they doing, you know? And that's where a lot of people are right now. Marvel is starting to get worried. Maybe the Russo brothers ain't the heroes we thought they were. All right. They got this rumor, and it is just a rumor, but it says Marvel is worried about Avengers Doomsday Secret Wars after negative The Electric State reviews. Yeah, the Russo brothers, all right, who did The Electric State. We've talked about it already. You can see right now, this thing is getting absolutely tarnished and dog-walked and trashed. This thing is getting absolutely dog-walked. 15% on Rotten Tomatoes. 15. And that ain't even the worst of it. Top critics gave it a 6. Out of all the top critics that looked at this, only 2 people said it was fresh. Like, wow. Yeah, this is bad, 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 Marvel. Are you guys sure that the Russo brothers are the ones that you guys want to go out there and rock with when it comes to the Avengers? And you absolutely got to get the Avengers right. It's one thing to fuck up Captain America, maybe even the Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four, but the Avengers? You blow it with the Avengers, it's game over. It is absolute game over. Turn out the lights, the party is over, man. So yeah, let's see what kind of concern they have for this movie. The Electric State has received overwhelmingly negative reviews since launching on Netflix, and a new rumor suggests Marvel Studios is now concerned about the Russos helming the next Avengers movies. Based on the way they've been talking and the fact that really nothing has worked for the Russo brothers outside of the MCU, I'm talking about stuff they've directed. Yeah, this is not a good situation. Marvel Studios hasn't had the disastrous few years some would have you believe, but the multiverse saga has been undeniably hit and miss. Nah, it's absolutely disastrous. All right. 1000% disastrous comic book movie. Calm down. For a time, Kevin Feige appeared to be going all in on Rick and Morty writers shaping the post-Infinity Saga MCU. Jeff Loveness was tapped to write Avengers Kang Dynasty, while Michael Waldron looked to take charge of Avengers Secret Wars. The fans and critics alike didn't appreciate Loveness's work on Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Yeah, I wonder why. Oh yeah, it was hot garbage. That's why. All right. Didn't appreciate it. We hated it. All right. And then Waldron's approach to Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness also wasn't well received because that was bad. Look, both of those movies, right, from these Rick and Morty writers, as they're talking about, both of these movies were terrible. And it told you everything you needed to know. They had to pull the plug and move on. With that, Feige took a different approach and turned to the Russo brothers. The filmmakers delivered 4 critical and commercial hits with the Captain America movies, Avenger movies, we know that. They also needed Marvel as much as the studio needed them, as their non-MCU work hasn't been hugely successful. Yeah, they got over to Netflix and they just started making like critically like panned movies. All right. You know, like these 2 movies they're talking about here, Cherry and the Gray Man. Not great. Okay. At least in terms of the critic scores. Extraction, but that's stuff that they produced. All right. Extraction, Everything Everywhere All at Once. That was produced by their Agbo company. But yeah, the stuff that they've directed, Cherry, Gray Man, and now The Electric State, yeah, it's terrible. I couldn't even finish The Electric State. The Electric State, I was out in about 20 minutes. I was like, this ain't for me. This ain't for me. This ain't going anywhere interested. And so when I saw this little 15% pop up and the audience score is just kind of like ho-hum, I'm like, yeah, that's what I figured. Sitting at 15% on Rotten Tomatoes, it's been called slop. And based on unofficial viewing figures, it's far from a hit with Netflix. Yeah, nobody's watching it either. That was the other thing. Like, okay, maybe the critics don't like it, but are audiences tuning in and checking it out? Yeah, this was on Games Radar Total Film. The Russo Brothers' $320 million movie has already been overtaken in the Netflix top 10 by Kraven the Hunter? Seriously? Yeah, I asked the same question, man. I'm like, wait a minute. Kraven the Hunter? After just 1 week, The Electric State has fallen behind Kraven the Hunter? Yeah, it's not like it's been outranked by some impressive competition either. One entry that has steamed ahead of the Russo brothers directed movie is Kraven the Hunter. How does Kraven the Hunter pass you up, yo? How does that happen? How does that happen? And you spent $320 million on this Netflix? And the Russo brothers, directors of the Avengers, they couldn't get the job done on a book that I haven't read the book, but people say the book is great. So it's based on a book, a beloved novel. People love it. They're saying that this thing is trash. And now even Kraven the Hunter has passed you up. Holy shit, man. The universally loathed comic book movie that is now at number 3 on the streamers' most watched films this week. That's right. People would rather watch Aaron Taylor Johnson fight a CGI Rhino Man than a movie by the director of the Avengers Infinity Wars Bonker Times. Yes. Yikes, man. Like, this is how bad things are, y'all. This is how terrible things are going right now when it comes to the Russo brothers. They can't even beat Kraven the Hunter when Kraven the Hunter and Russo's are going head to head on Netflix. So yeah, Marvel has every reason to be worried about this. So this is the scoop here, or the rumor. My time to shine, hello. I hear Kevin Feige and Marvel are getting worried after seeing how bad the Electric State is and are starting to reconsider whether rehiring the Russos was a mistake. Look, if you don't give your creatives full creative choice and full creative license to do whatever it is that they want to do, it is a mistake to hire the Russo brothers. All right. The mistake is really Feige hiring the Russo brothers when Feige would want to throw his 2 cents in. Oh, I think they should bring Robert Downey Jr. back as Dr. Doom. That's his idea. And then the Russos went along with it. Yeah, that's majorly problematic, man. This whole universe comes down to execution. All the superheroes are there. All the storylines are there. All the ideas are there. It's about how you execute those. So far, the Russos have absolutely gotten the job done in the MCU. I'm not going to take that away from them. But lately, it's like, bruh, with Marvel stumbling and bumbling around And then also you got the Russo stumbling and bumbling. You got to start to wonder, like, maybe this ain't the right mix anymore. And maybe they need to move on, not just from the Russos, but also Kevin Feige. I've been saying it for the longest time. Kevin Feige is lucky. All right. Again, right place, right time, first in, best dressed. That's it. That's the story of Kevin Feige. It's not his genius. All right. The Avengers Doomsday begins shooting in a matter of weeks, with Avengers Secret Wars set to begin production right after. It's too late to swap the Russos out for anyone else, meaning Marvel Studios has to rely on them to recapture the same magic they delivered in their previous MCU movies. It's never too late to swap people. Let me say that right now. It is never too late to change out a director. We've seen that done hundreds of times, all right, throughout the history of Hollywood. Hell, man, Disney swapped out what's the name? Lord and Miller and Solo for Ron Howard. Just shoop, shoop, new director. And they moving on. So yeah, it is never too late to swap out a director, especially if you're on the wrong track, and especially if you need Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret War to save your franchise. You got to make the right move. I don't think they'll do it. I think they trust the Russo brothers, and maybe they'll do a just fine job. Maybe everything's going to be all right. But yeah, the electric slate, this thing can't be giving them a lot of confidence right now that, oh yeah, the Russos, we in good hands. Like, they're even talking casually about this. We love villains who think they're the heroes of the story. That's basic shit, bro. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But you guys let me know what y'all think, man. Are y'all confident that the Russo brothers can get the job done? Marvel might be a little bit nervous about this situation. I think they got every reason to be nervous. And I think if the Russos don't stick the landing, and they got to absolutely stick the landing when it comes to Doomsday, I think it's all over but the shouting. I think at this point, you just got to pull the plug on the whole MCU. Let it sit for like 5 years and then start over again. Bring it back, new characters. See if you could go get the Spider-Man rights fully from Sony and maybe start dripping them guys in along with X-Men. And maybe you can save this thing. You know, but based on where it's at right now, I have zero confidence. Especially when, you know, you seen what they doing with our guy, Daredevil. I have zero confidence right now that Marvel knows what they're doing. They were just lucky from the very beginning. Lucky from the beginning. Straight up. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Jump down in the comments. Give me your thoughts and opinions on that. And thanks for watching. See you next time.